Hi there. We are on a new topic this week. It is called the critical period hypothesis or critical period theory for language acquisition. So let's just jump right in and let me show you the assignments. Just 3 assignments for this week. The first one is kind of an overview of the critical period hypothesis, so you can read all about it. And I have some links here, but you don't need to go to this link. I've got all the important information for you. And then I actually have a full documentary. It's about an hour long, and it's really interesting. You don't have to watch the entire documentary, but I think that you'll want to watch it once you get started if you haven't seen it already. I do want you to watch a little bit of it though, and I want you to at least see Jeannie, the girl that it's based on, and get an idea of listening to her talk, how she sounds when she is vocalizing. Okay, because that is really important for the information that you'll need to know. Then a short article here, and then what I want you to answer is just summarize what the critical period hypothesis is, and then I want your opinion. Do you think that Jeannie's case proves or disproves this theory? And there really is no right or wrong answer to this. Some researchers come down on one side, some on the other. Linguists tend to say that Jeannie proves the critical period hypothesis, while psychologists say that she disproves it. So that to give you an idea. Okay. Then the next thing that we're going to do is our first lesson plan. So we're going to be writing a few lesson plans this semester, but this is our first one. So just, take this slow. If you have any questions about this, make sure you give yourself plenty of time, and please, email me. If you are not sure exactly what you're doing, I'm happy to give you feedback before the due date. If you don't get it exactly right, I'll give you another chance to do it because, like I said, we're going to be doing a few of these this semester. So basically, what you're going to be doing is opening this document right here, or if you have another lesson plan template that you like to use that you already know about that has these same elements, feel free, but this one is a kind of an easy one. It just should have all of these elements here. You don't need to have the reflection, and it explains why here. And then you're going to be writing to a standard, okay? So here's the standard that you're going to be writing to. Now, it's really important to start with a standard because this is what you are aiming for. This is what you are trying to teach the student. Now, this lesson plan is kind of strange because normally when we're making a lesson plan, we're writing to, for a whole classroom. But in this case, it's, kind of a hypothetical situation. We don't have a whole classroom that we're actually going to be teaching. We're just imagining that we have one student. So we're kind of like a tutor, not really a teacher of a class. And we're just writing to this one really special student who is Jeannie. Okay, so thinking about everything that we know about her, we're going to try to write a lesson for her. And so this is the standard. So you're just going to copy and paste this standard into the section where it says standard. And then for the objective, this is the part where you make it up and you tell me, what do you want her to learn? What is she going to be able to do once you're done teaching her? The materials are the things that you need. So, is she going to be writing something? She's going to need, pencil or crayons or pens or something like that. Paper, chalk, whiteboard, whatever. The instructional strategy, that is the step. So a lesson plan is almost kind of like a recipe. It's something that you hand to someone, and you're not talking to them, you're just handing them this paper, and then they should be able to follow it step by step without you communicating with them any other way. So just like a recipe that says do this, do this, do this, do this. First has the materials, just like the recipe has ingredients. The instructional strategy are the steps that you would do. Like in a recipe has ingredients, you know, first you put this in, then you put that in, then you stir it, then you heat it. The instructional strategy is the steps. So step 1, you do this. Step 2, you do this. Step 3, you do this. And so it's really, you are talking to the teacher, okay? The teacher that is going to be doing this. So what does the teacher do? All right. And then assessment. Assessment is very important. So at the end of the lesson, when the lesson is over, you have to be sure that your students, or in this case your student, learned. It doesn't always work, it's not always successful, but that's why you have assessment, so you can test it. So you need to be able to prove that your student learned. So what is the assessment that you're going to give? And it could be something very formal, like an actual quiz or a test, or it could be something that's, you know, really just kind of informal checking, okay? But it needs to be some kind of an assessment there. And in this case, there's not a reflection, because a reflection would be after you actually do the lesson with live students, and then you come back and you think about it and you say, oh, you know, what part worked, what part didn't quite work. If I were to do this lesson again, what would I change? And so, you know, since we're not doing that, then you can just ignore that part. Okay. So that's what I would like you to do for part 1. You're just going to give that to me, and then part 2, you're going to answer these questions. Alrighty. And then for the discussion, I'm hoping we can get into a real good discussion here about the critical period and your opinions about it. So thinking about the critical period, thinking about Jeannie, thinking about your own experiences with language learning, your first language, if you have any experience in second language. And I know that everyone has some experience with second language, whether it's successful or not. And next week we're going to talk about that more, and I'm going to ask you really specifically your experiences, so hold on to that. But we're going to be talking about that a little bit here. And so I have some questions for you about your opinions about that, and then 2 replies. And then that takes us to the end of the week. Let me know if you have any questions, any problems with anything, and I will be talking to you later. All right, bye-bye.